Hi guys, welcome back to Coding Commanders. I'm Commander Candy, and today I'm going to show you how to set up with Apache so when you write a file you can view it in your web browser. You can run that code, see it in the web browser. Let's get to work.
You may want to follow along with my written out lesson. It contains step-by-step directions and also explains all of today's commands. You'll find the link in the video description.
Okay, so I have my virtual box powered up. Log in. Candy66 and my password. Boom. Okay. Now what we're going to do, and I suggest that you open up like TextPad, something like that. I'm going to be using TextPad to jot down some notes actually while doing this, the IP address. So the first thing, if you remember, let's go ahead, let's look up our IP address, do ifconfig. Okay, and you'll see that there's, on mine, two come up. It's going to be the first one, the bottom one, the LO. Sometimes, depending on, what you do with your setup, things like that, there could be multiple IP addresses. If, you just try them till you find one that works, but it's going to be one like that, ENP0SL, something similar to that. It's not going to be the LO one. So let's go ahead and I'm going to open up my TextPad and I'm going to jot down the IP address, because the IP address changes. It's not going to be the same every time. There is a way, I have mine set up so there's a specific site name where no matter what the IP address is, it points to that name for me in my host file. So I'm actually able to just type that name in and not do config every time. I will in a later tutorial show you how to go into the host file, do some customization there. But for now, this is how we're going to do it. This is how a lot of people do it, and it's good to get used to. You need to know how to find your IP address, right? So now go ahead, go to your web browser. I use Chrome. Chrome's a great browser for web development. There's a lot of developer tools on there. So type the IP address into your web browser, like I did. 192.168.1.87 was mine. Yours is probably totally different. So just go ahead, type it in, press enter, see what comes up. This probably is not what's going to come up for you, but this is what we want to come.
Here's what the Apache default page looks like. This is the page you will probably see when you type your IP address into the web browser. If this is not what you see, if nothing's loading and it's not working, I will show you a quick little setting change that will probably fix that and lead you to this page right here. If you see this page, that means it works just like it says right on top. And if you read down, it will tell you where this file is located. So that's /var/www/html/index.html. That's where the file is located. So that's where we're going to have to go ahead. We're going to have to go in there, give ourselves permission, delete this file.
If you do see this, then you're good to go. I'll just have to show you where this file is located. If you do not see this, though, you probably don't. You probably see the Apache default page. Then we're going to have to go ahead, delete that page, and that should do it. If it didn't load any page at all when you put your IP address into the web browser, what I want you to do is go ahead, go to your virtual box, power it off. First go type shutdown now. I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to really change the settings or anything, but shutdown now on your virtual box. Then highlight over where your virtual box is, go to settings. Okay, so you should have, when you press highlight over your image and then press settings, you should see a box like this come up. has different settings and options in it. I want you to go ahead and you see down on the side where it says network, click on network. Attached to it probably says NAT. Change that to bridged adapter and then hit OK. That's going to be what you want to do, and that should take care of it. Okay, so now we're back to our virtual boxes, and what we're going to do is first, if you have the default page, you'll probably see it tells you on the page, this is where this file is located, you know, go ahead and change it. So look at on the display page, this is where it should be. If this isn't where yours is, if you have any trouble with this part, double check on that Apache default page to make sure it says the same thing that it said for me. Okay, so that address that we saw, it should have started with var. Now, to go to var, we're gonna do /var. Now, when you're going to directories, sometimes you're going to do a slash in front of it, sometimes you're not. When you do a slash, that means our search is starting at the root, okay? If you don't do a slash, then it's just going to look at directories in your current directory. So, like, say we made a directory called projects. And in the directory called projects, there is, you know, folders for all of our projects. Say project 1, project 2, project 3, right? If you're currently in the projects directory, you won't need to use a slash to go to project 1, project 2, or project 3 because they're located right there in the current directory. And on my website in the HTML lessons, if you're confused at all about file path, I'll link in the description. That lesson, it's on with HTML, but it's the same type deal with the file path. But we're going back to root, okay? So we got to use a slash in front of it. So /var, CD space /var, that would help. So now we're in var. So let's go ahead and CD into www. We do not need a slash this time because it's in the var directory. Okay. Let's CD to HTML. Okay. So now we're going to give ourselves permission to edit that file. I blew up the screen a little bit for this command, but if you have trouble seeing on the command, don't worry. In the description to this video, there's a link to my written out instructions on my website. So you can, you know, the command will be in there for you to copy from if you have trouble seeing it on the video, or if this isn't the way you prefer to copy links or commands. Excuse me, commands. Okay, so the command we're going to type is going to start with sudo. Remember, that's administrative tasks. Space chown, CHOWN, space dash capital R space back quote, and that is on the far top left side of your computer where the escape key is. Should be the key right under escape. No shift, just click that button and then type who am I, then back quote space /var /www/html, and then press enter. It's going to ask you for your password. Go ahead and type in your password, and now you should have permission. Now we can go ahead and remove that file, index.html. Oops, I hate it when I do that. Okay, so to remove that file, if you remember, we're going to do rm index.html. Now let's go ahead and list. It's not there. Now that's deleted, go back to your web browser, and when you do, you're going to see something like this. And it's empty right now because we don't have any projects, but when we get to projects, they'll be listed here and you'll be able to choose, as you will see in our next video. Okay, thank you for joining me today. Hopefully you're all up and running. Things went how they were supposed to go. Any links that I feel will be helpful, I will put in the description. Our next video is going to be on buy. Even if something went wrong this time, you can still watch that one. You can still create the file. You're just not going to be able to run it. And then after buy, I'll do a video on how to set up WAMP. So if anybody is really having a lot of difficulty with this setup, don't get bogged down. I hate setting up things. I'm going to tell you a secret. Programmers don't like this. If you don't like this or you have any trouble with this, it does not mean that you're not good at programming. This isn't programming. When you get a programming job, there will be somebody who sets up your environment for you. But let me tell you, you don't want to be dependent on other people to be able to write your code or test your code. What if you're working on a big project and it's Saturday? What if the guy, assigned to fix your system doesn't like you and puts you at the bottom of the list? What if he's just too busy and it takes him 2 weeks to get to you? You can't be 2 weeks without code. You do have to learn eventually. You don't have to learn today. How to be able to troubleshoot things, get through them, ask for help, and find the right people to help you when you need it. Because if you did have a job, there'd be lots of programmers around you, obviously, so it would be a little easier. Hopefully you buddied up with somebody like, hey man, you help me out. But you don't want to bother people either. You want to learn how to troubleshoot things on your own, and then if you get stuck, ask the right people for help. If you start going to programming meetups and things like that, you're going to meet people who are willing to help you when you do run into trouble, and that's going to be really important. So I recommend, look at your local meetups, PHP meetups, JavaScript meetups. Even if it's a language that you're not learning or we're not teaching, programmers are programmers, and they tend to enjoy helping other people learn. Especially if, you go in there and you tell them, you decide to change your life, learn how to code. I definitely recommend going to meetups. Next video, we will create our first PHP file. Woo! And then the video after that, I'll show you how to set up WAMP. Because, again, I don't want you to get bogged down. All the programmers I know hate this part. When I told my programmer friends I was doing tutorials on setting up the environment, they thought I was crazy. Because it's a different job. It's a different area, but you do need to learn how to navigate. Thank you for watching, guys. Happy coding!